Hey y'all, I Rick Sky here, and I recently did roughly right around 40 miles backpacking in the Smoky Mountains. And what I wanted to do is share some lessons learned with everyone because, that was a decent amount of distance. I know a lot of y'all have done all the way to Maine, so, 40 miles is probably laughable, but learned a lot of things. Okay, number one, if you've never been backpacking, there's a lot to learn. But I've been backpacking my entire life and haven't done really anything. I haven't done a lot of backpacking in the mountains, and it's a different animal. And the lessons learned, number one, as your elevation increases, that temperature drops. So if you're at the base of the mountain, it could potentially be 30, 40, maybe even 50 degrees colder at elevation. So take that into consideration when you're packing. Because just because the weather says that, it's going to be, let's say 30 degrees at the base, it could easily be 0 at the top, or something totally different. And weather can change. And keep in mind, when you're up there, you probably won't have cell service, so it's not like you can just check in. And even if you do, it's not like you can just hike out in the middle of the night because it got cold. So with that being said, lessons learned. Number one, even if it's not in the forecast, expect snow and ice. And those trails, especially in the Smokies, some of them are really narrow and they're sheer cliffs. So be sure to take micro spikes. Be sure to take hiking poles, because if it does snow and it does start to ice over, you're going to need that extra traction when you're hiking out. Take plenty of layers. What I do, I take a very nice compressible down jacket, put it in a stuff sack, and usually it's too warm to hike in, but I've got it for the night. Take dry socks, take a dry pair of pants, a dry shirt, because if you do happen to get wet, you can't have wet clothes on at night because you'll get hypothermia if it's below freezing. So that's no fun. If you got room for them, take some hot hands. So, those things are good to throw into your sleeping bag, keep your toes extra warm. There's animals walking all around right now. It's kind of, and this is bear country. But I got bear spray, so we'll be good. We'll go ahead and continue with this video. But, take more than you think you might need. Now, I'm not saying, don't take your entire closet in your backpack. You want to take enough to, if you get wet, you got a dry change of clothes. If you get cold, you got more layers. Another lesson learned, take some fluids and have them in bottles, because when you sleep in freezing temperatures, anything that's in your tent, anything that's outside of your tent, it's going to freeze. So what I do is I put a few bottles of water in my sleeping bag so that they stay thawed. So I've got stuff to drink in the morning and on the trail back, because otherwise you're going to have a bunch of fluid that's frozen. Obviously you can stop by a stream and you can use your purifier and purify it and drink some water out of that. But I'm just talking about quickly accessible water that's already been purified. Good to keep some of that's not frozen. And, just be prepared. Have bear spray if you're in bear country. Have a whistle, an air horn. Air horns are good for scaring bears away. Also, if you get in a bad situation, you get caught up and you need to signal for help. An air horn's a great way to alert someone that's hopefully in earshot that you need help. So that's important. I don't know. Don't do it ill prepared. And my best advice, if you're going to be doing something more advanced, like backpacking in the Smokies where there's bears and challenging terrain, I think I would probably start out with something more basic, something on flat ground, something where you don't hike as far out. If something unexpected happens, you can, quickly get out and learn from your mistakes. So, backpacking isn't something, there's always a beginner, and that's perfectly acceptable because not everybody's been backpacking their entire life. So you got to start somewhere. When you do start, take your time, do it with other people that have experience, and always be prepared for the worst case scenario. It's a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's it's not. I've been there and done that, and in my earlier days I did get in a situation where I got lost in the wilderness, but since I had a waypoint from a known campsite from a year or so prior, I was able to access that waypoint, hike to that waypoint off of the trails. That's the mistake. We got off of the trails, and we're able to get to a known location And from that known location, we were able to hike out. So, you know, that's another thing. Stay on the trails, stay on the marked trails, because especially in the Smokies, because in the Smokies and a lot of other nature, what do you call them, national parks, if they do allow backcountry camping, most of them require that you reserve a campsite, a backcountry campsite. So it's not like you can just go off a trail and sleep anywhere. You know, that's not allowed in most national parks. If maybe it's all national parks. Now there's some wilderness areas and wildlife management areas that allow backcountry camping that may not be as strict. But you know, check the regulations for where you'll be going. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Check out all my videos. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy, and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. I've got a video playlist now of backpacking videos, and I've got a ton more coming soon. And if there's any particular topics that you'd like to see me address within upcoming videos, just comment below, and I'll do my best to respond with a video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain IrixGuy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.